What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another epicseven video today on For Misery Gaming. And today, guys, I finally want to review the overall AP exchange, the pros, the cons of it, and what the benefit is to it, in my opinion, of the overview. So, if you guys didn't know, when we had our patch update, you guys came here into world difficulty. You had to go through a tutorial just so you guys could understand, like, how many AP points you guys get and what they're used for. So, how this whole thing works is if you back out and you see the overall map, every map is going to have different points. So, like, for instance, if I go to 1, Azera, and I see how much AP points I haven't even checked this one yet. So, I obviously have 0 AP points, and these are the catalysts you can exchange, right? So, per run, when you enter the dungeon, it's going to show you how much AP you get along with all the other rewards. So, it's going to be 8 AP on world. If we back out of that and we go into normal and say we're doing 1 again, it's going to be 4. You guys look at the stamina, it costs 8, and then it costs 8. So honestly, for AP purposes, you really want to only farm for AP specifically on world difficulty. So this does relate to early mid to, I guess, middle mid players, that you guys want to keep that in mind to 6-star awaken and 5-star awaken your heroes. So, but the kicker is, if I then go to, let's go to the one I've been farming, which is 5 for Olitica's awakening. So here I have 144. So that means, unfortunately, what they did here is every region has their own AP, which really sucks, because that means, say I want to go for drops of let's say I want to go for drops of the Blessing Catalyst, which was on 1, right? But I want to get the Epic Catalyst exchange from 5. I can't do that. I have to farm 5. So if I want to farm for the Blessing Catalyst here, and if I wanted to do that, I could go to 1.6, I can go to 1.6S, I can go to 1.6 or 1.7. Both these guys drop it there. That's 1S5, there's 1S5, and then that's 1.6, 1.7. So there's 3 different enemies that drop the catalyst there, but I don't want to get the Fighter Metal Catalyst. I want to get the, I think it's called the Dragon Scaler? No, not the Dragon Scale, what's it called? The Dragon Blood Gem. You see there, I already have 9 of them. I need 1 more for Olitica's Awakening. So what they did was they forced you into getting the catalyst in that stage as far as for random drops while getting AP points. So that's the unfortunate thing there. The other unfortunate thing I will say about this whole thing is that it's very, very time-consuming and expensive on energy to get this. Let me pull up my trusty phone real fast, and I'll break down how many runs of 400 do you need. So if we take 400 divided by 8, it takes you 50 runs times 8, 400 stamina per run to get 1 Epic Catalyst. So that means you're using 800 stamina to get the 2 weekly catalysts of each region, depending on how many regions you want to farm. So that's the first unfortunate thing. Obviously, the fortunate thing about it is that you can get the random drop catalyst while you're farming, and also it is a guarantee that you know, as long as you farm 800 energy worth, you will get 2 of that Epic Catalyst per week, which obviously, it's not a bad thing. It's a bonus add-on. They didn't lower drops. They didn't lower EXP, gold, or anything like that from Adventure, so it wasn't like they nerfed anything in Adventure to give us the option for this shop. It's just kind of unfortunate how they executed it, that they just didn't add it to a general pull. Now that's going to bring me to the next topic of discussion, which is the side story. So if we go to side story, there is, even though it's called Adventure, and we get urgent missions from this, and anything that's related to your weekly missions for your guild, you can accomplish them in side story as regular as normal story. Unfortunately, though, you guys see here there's no AP shop. So as of right now, the side story, which a lot of us will farm that as our main source of adventure for fodder, getting fodder for a long period of time, because of the shop exchange that we have in side story is so great. Because you get catalysts, you get Giga Phantasms, you get Mologoras, you get ruins, you get bookmarks, you get 3-star penguins, and you get artifact charms. So they took this away from the AP shop, which is a big deal. So that is my other big gripe with this. As far as we can't utilize the side story to get AP points. Because think about it, I would say on average, you burn about probably, if you clear out the shop, you burn anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 stamina. If you would convert that to AP, every 800 gets you 1. You would get, roughly, somewhere around the rounds of like probably equivalent to 2 to 3, or maybe 3 to 4 epic catalysts. That you could potentially exchange if they grouped all of the AP points into one thing, and you could farm, and that would just give us more variety that we could farm this regular catalyst for on one stage and then exchange on another stage. So that's kind of where Smilegate kind of like made us pick what we want to do. What's more of a priority? Do you want to go to this one stage for the potential drops for this catalyst to work on your normal catalyst first, or are you going full in for the epics? So as we kind of wrap things up for the video of like what I think overall, I think it's good that they given us a way other than burning 6,000 energy to try to get like one blazing soul drop back from the OG like Lorena days or unlocking Una days of how terrible like that particular farm was. So it's good that we're guaranteed at least 2 per week, with a sync of 800 energy per stage. The other thing that's good about it is obviously they give us 4 different catalysts per stage as long as there's an epic drop. I think like some of the S ones actually in Adventure, they actually don't have any epics. It's only normal. Like I think 5S is one of them. Yeah, so here you can only get Mysterious Flash, Cold Look, and Ultra Fang. You can't get the other one. So I would highly recommend, if there aren't any epics, I would highly recommend passing on this. So my route of how you guys should go this, and the reason why I'm kind of in a neutral to negative point on this is that there's so much an emphasis on farming hunts when you're endgame to midgame, because you have to be able to keep up with the other players, especially when it relates to Guild War and PvP, of continually upgrading your units, upgrading your gear kind of evenly, where like at points you need to go make some 5 stars, at points you need to get better gear. So, but if they put this little thing here where it's like literally since the update, I've only been farming to try to get my 6-star awakening epics, and I'm still not there yet. I still have 1 more epic to get before I can go back into hunts. And then we get a new side story this coming Wednesday, and then I'm going to be sucked into side story for 4 days. So it's like another thing of maybe this wouldn't be as bad if we could have a double speed button, if we could skip animations, where farming could be faster, where it wouldn't lock you down, because it's not even almost like even if you're going to whale and you have so much skystones and leafs and all that stuff, you still are on time. There's only a certain amount of time in the day of hours that you have to go through and hit play to get your farming in. And, there's only so many hours in the day you can do that. So it's literally impossible to go into all these different modes and try to get all this stuff. So instead of getting overwhelmed and thinking of this as a negative, what you have to do is prioritize your units. So for instance, there's a lot of units. I'm not going to go for the Epic Catalyst as of right now. So like the units here, DN, I use all the time. Bologna, I use all the time. Tamarine, I'm actually skipping because if we go to her Awakening is attack, which does not really benefit her overall kit, even though you see I'm only 2 medicines away from getting it. I'm actually going to skip it because honestly, it's not that relevant to her, because increasing her attack and, by 6%, 30 more attack and then 80 health overall is not going to really benefit her too much because she's a Soul Weaver. So it just, unfortunately, of how they made her Awakening system. Luna, again, kind of a mix because her last one is health. While health is still pretty good, you guys see there I have a long way to go as far as getting enough badges. I have 9 more to get. That would be a long farm. That would take me over a month of farming more than likely to get her last Awakening. So that's going to be on the back burner as well until I really round out my gear more. Ken is one I will definitely do. Because his is health, and health is amazing for him. Helps him tankier, makes him do more damage, so he's a really good one to invest in. Litica, she's good to invest in. Attack with her is good. Obviously, she's a ranger, a utility ranger. Tywin is probably one of the best ones at his 5th and 6-star awakening. And low-key, Tywin is going to be my next really big build-up character because of his utility. that he's going to bring me as far as morale goes in Raid, and then also I feel he's going to be very, very effective for Wyvern 3-man farming, and then also as well, I think he's going to have some role in Guild War. So that's why I'm building him. But he has 6% health. His attacks do more damage based on health, just like Ken does. He's a knight, so he can tank really, really well. The fact he can use that OP boss artifact, Sword of Erza, which he has on him right now, is insane. Once I max that, he'll be reducing 30% damage, so that's insane. And then the Final Awakening, he gets 12% effectiveness. And because of how his kit work, effectiveness is super, super awesome with him. Between having a strip, having a death break, all that kind of cool stuff is really, really good on him. So effectiveness is great on his particular kit. Says I'm pretty much going to skip because he's slowly getting phased out in PvP. I may keep him as a bench for Guild War, but outside of that, I'm probably not going to invest too much in him. Charles is good. I believe his last one is crit hit chance, so crit hit chance is good with him. Obviously, crit hit chance is awesome. They increased the crit hit chance percentage, so you guys see there he gets an 8% crit hit chance. I forget, what is he at for overall right now? That's going to bring him up to 58%, so still not great, but it's you know, it's okay. Kisei, I just don't use her so much anymore, so even though attack is really good with her, and I could actually do that if I would just farm Epic Ruins, I don't even need the Blazing Souls. I kind of want to keep Blazing Souls for some future heroes, so I'm kind of putting her on the back burner as well. Maybe if I only have like one Epic Catalyst per week, I would maybe do some Blazing Soul farming, because Blazing Soul farming is one of the most tedious thing because you have to kill the Banshee as the random drop, so it's pretty bad for farming. And then the final hero that I would look at is definitely going to be our boy Watcher Shuri. Watcher Shuri, though, I don't have to particularly farm too hard because per week I can get like 2 to 4 from the Hell Exchange by trading in the enemy drops from there, the Queen's Gifts from the Hell Raid. So I can slowly get those in a couple weeks. And for instance, I don't have Shuri's gear ready yet. So until his gear is ready, there isn't really much point in going in after his, heavily going into his Catalyst to get his, because his is very, very good. Another 8% crit rate, which will be insane on him as well. So, but overall, guys, how I think you guys should prioritize this is only go after Epic Catalyst on heroes that you use in 2 or more contents in the game. Very, very similar to how I explain who you should Mulligora with the Mulligora refunds. Because you don't want to say, I want to go for every single hero in my box, I want them 6-star Awaken. You guys don't get reputation rewards for that. If it's like, I don't use Clarissa anymore, I don't use Silk, I don't use Acades, I don't use Surin, I don't use Guider Aether, I don't use Cecilia, I don't use Charlotte, I don't use Val, I don't even use Kayron, which I shouldn't have put Mulligoras in him. I don't use regular Aramithia, I don't use Yuna, you know, I don't use Lorena, I don't use Cirilla, all these units that I don't use, so it doesn't make sense for me to waste the energy and the time into trying to get their 6-star Awakening, because it's very, very expensive. So guys, that is going to wrap up today's video on the good, the bad, and how you guys should go about going after these AP exchanges for Catalyst farming. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, please don't forget to drop a like down below. Subscribe as always if you guys are new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next epicseven video. Peace out, guys.